The most confident person in the room is almost never the loudest one. Most of the time, they're the quietest, and that quiet carries a weight that fills the entire space without asking for permission. Confidence is one of those things that everybody desperately wants and almost nobody genuinely understands, because most people think confidence is something you feel first and then act on. But that's completely backwards. Every piece of behavioral psychology research points to the same truth. Confidence is not something you build by thinking differently. It's something you build by behaving differently, consistently, over time, until the feeling finally catches up with the action. So here are 6 behaviors. Not mindset shifts, not affirmations, not journaling prompts. Actual behaviors that rewire how you carry yourself in this world. The first one is going to sound almost too simple, and that's exactly why most people dismiss it and never experience what it actually does to them. Stop explaining yourself. Not in a rude way, not in a cold way, but notice how often, throughout a single day, you feel this almost compulsive need to justify your choices to people who didn't even ask. I didn't come because I was tired. I had a long week. You know how it gets. Nobody asked for that. Psychologically, over-explaining is one of the most consistent signs that somewhere inside you are still waiting for external permission to be okay with your own decisions. Every time you stop mid-sentence and pull that explanation back, your brain registers something important, that your choices don't need to be approved by anyone else to be valid. And that quiet confidence in your own decisions starts to slowly change the way every room you walk into responds to you. The second behavior is this. Start doing things alone that most people only do in groups. Go eat at a restaurant alone. Go watch a movie alone. Go sit in a coffee shop alone without your phone, acting as a social shield. This feels deeply uncomfortable at first, and that discomfort is actually the entire point. Because the moment you can sit alone in a public space without needing to look busy or needed or accompanied, you've just proved something to yourself that no amount of validation from another person could ever prove. You've proved that your own presence is enough. And when you genuinely know your own presence is enough, other people can feel that. And that quiet self-sufficiency is the actual foundation of confidence, not the performance of it. The third behavior is the one that changes your brain chemistry the fastest. Do one thing every single day that makes you even slightly nervous. Not skydiving level fear, not a life-altering risk, just that low-level nervousness you feel before you speak up in a meeting, before you message someone you genuinely admire, before you walk into a room full of strangers. Neuroscientists call this voluntary discomfort. And every time you walk towards a small fear instead of away from it, your brain physically updates its internal threat assessment. The world starts to feel a little less dangerous, and you start to feel a little more capable inside it, and that compounds faster than you would ever believe. The fourth behavior is one almost nobody talks about openly, and it might be the most powerful one on this entire list. Stop laughing at your own self-deprecating jokes. There is a culture, especially online, of constant self-mockery, of making yourself the punchline before anyone else can. It feels like protection. It feels like relatability. It feels like humility. But what it actually does is train every person around you, and more importantly, your own subconscious, to not take you seriously. Every time you reduce yourself to a joke, you hand people the exact blueprint for how to treat you. Humor is powerful. Laughter is real connection. But there is a very important difference between laughing with yourself and constantly positioning yourself as the lowest person in every room you enter. The fifth behavior requires more daily discipline than almost anything else on this list. Keep your promises to yourself. Not to other people, to yourself. Most people carry a long, quiet history of canceling on themselves. I'll wake up early tomorrow. I'll send that email today. I'll start this week. And every single time you break that agreement with yourself, your brain quietly files it away. That file slowly becomes your self-image. And that self-image becomes your confidence level, or the entire absence of it. Every time you do what you told yourself you would do, even something small, even something no one else will ever see, you make a deposit into the internal account that tells you that you are someone who can be trusted. And here is the truth that takes most people decades to understand. The most important trust you will ever build in your life is the trust you have in yourself. The sixth behavior ties all of them together, and without it, the other five don't fully land. Start speaking at your actual pace. Confident people don't rush through their sentences like they're afraid you'll stop listening before they finish. They don't over-explain out of nervousness. They don't trail off at the end of their thoughts, hoping you'll fill the silence. They don't shrink their words to make other people more comfortable. They speak at the pace of someone who genuinely believes what they're saying is worth your time, because they have done enough internal work to actually know that it is. Next time you're in a conversation, consciously slow down by about 20%. Let the pauses breathe. Don't rush to fill every silence, and watch how the energy of the entire room shifts without you saying a single extra word. Confidence is not a personality trait that some people were born with and others weren't. It is a collection of behaviors practiced so consistently that they stop feeling like effort and start feeling like you. Most people are waiting to feel confident before they start acting like it, and that wait never ends. The people you look at and admire didn't wait for the feeling, they built it, one behavior at a time, until the feeling had no choice but to follow. If this gave you something real today, share it with one person who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Daily Dose of Knowledge. Because this channel exists for the people who actually want to understand themselves,